Hi everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. This video is going to be addressed to our AS students who are preparing for the A-level exam for the first time. As you know, there are key changes that have taken place in the syllabus, and I want to, in this video, first talk about the key changes which are really important because I have a very strong feeling that these key changes will be tested in our exam. We saw that in the specimen paper. We also saw that in our Jan or Feb or March paper, which happens in India. So let's talk about first the topics which are important to prepare, which are the key additions to our new syllabus. And the second thing I want to talk about is I want to show you Feb-March paper for 2023, which is the recent paper for us. The reason I want to talk about that paper or show you that paper is mainly because number one, I want to show you what are the key changes in our questions. Now we have multiple sections. We have one data response section, and we have one micro section and one macro. So I want to show you that. I also want to show you another important thing, and that's fundamental for anyone who is about to sit for the exam, and that is the key changes even in the question, the way they are asked. Now, the question is not going to be the same as we used to see previously. They have made a fundamental change which we need to be mindful of. So let's talk about first the key changes and then talk about the paper. We'll begin our discussion by first talking about some of the major changes, and then what I'll do is that I'll follow this up by talking about what happens within each topic as well. So let's talk about first some major additions and then talk about what happens within these additions. So on a broader level, I've highlighted some of the key topics that I added. So now we have this new topic added in the micro, which is government microeconomic intervention. We have this new topic which is addressing income and wealth inequality. This is a topic that used to be in A2. It's now added here, and I have a very strong feeling it will be tested in our exam. It came in the Feb and March paper for India series, but it is also very likely to come in our exam, either in data response or in essay questions. Secondly, this is the changes that are happening in a macro. In the macro, you have your national income statistics, which was previously in A2, added to AS now, and also introduction to circular flow. We saw these both topics were tested in the India paper, in MCQs and in essay question, and we need to be mindful about that too. And then economic growth and unemployment are the two topics which were in A2, and they are added in AS in a very basic level. We'll talk about what way they're added in a little while, but just want to first quickly give you key topics that are added and therefore very likely to be tested. Policies. So all of these policies are added in macro in a more explicit manner. So examiner is asking you about fiscal monetary supply side policies and also macroeconomic policy objectives. Okay, now let's look deeper into how these topics are added, as into what details are to be be aware of in each of these topics that are added. So when we look at the addressing income and wealth inequality, we need to know first income as a flow and wealth concept, which is fairly straightforward. Do look at the video at all where we talk about this concept. But what is more important is to know, one, economic reasons of why inequality takes place, and two, what are the policies that can help us to distribute income and wealth. Okay, so don't ignore this discussion because this is going to be tested, and very likely this can come in a data response kind of a situation where you may not have a choice available and you have to know the content. Another thing that is added, as we talked about, is this discussion about national income statistics. It's very easy discussion. You need to know the formulas for GDP, GNI, net national and gross national measures. You need to know the formula from converting GDP at market prices to GDP at factor cost or basic prices. Also, we need to be aware of this circular flow discussion. It's a really important discussion. Examiner has put it in now in macro, in the AS, it used to be in macro. The examiner will be very keen to test us on this one. Then comes the discussion about economic growth and unemployment. The examiner in the specimen paper as well as in the March paper tested our knowledge for both these topics, especially the consequences of economic growth and consequences of unemployment. So please don't ignore this topic. This is added. It will be tested. And watch the videos, read the notes. We have tons of material to help you prepare at the all platform or otherwise. Then comes this big chunk, guys, and I feel that now that policy has come explicitly in the AS, the examiner will give you one question from one of these fiscal, monetary and supply side policies. Fiscal policy is a lot more comprehensive now. You need to know about what is government budget, what are taxes, what are the different kinds of taxes. You need to know reason for taxes. You need to know reason for government spending. You need to also know the ADA-AS analysis of fiscal, monetary and supply side policies. You need to look at pros and cons of these policies, and you need to also be aware of the effect of these policies on the various goals that you achieve. But what is not part of our discussion, which will come in A2, is the conflicts that happen through these policies. I also have this March 2023 paper, which will help us sort of understand how the questions have become different. So first thing first is that now you have an exam which is for 2 hours. You are looking at 3 sections, section A, B and C. Section A is data response, which is for 20 marks. Section B is also for 20 marks, and section C is also for 20 marks. Section B will be all micro. Section C will be all macro. You have 2 questions and you need to do 1 from them. So you have 20 marks here, 20 marks for macro and 20 marks for your data response. So in all you have 60 marks for your exam. An important thing to understand here is this, that you will be given sort of 2 hours, which is equal to 1 hour 20 minutes or 120 minutes. So if you look at it, every question will be basically, or every section will require you to spend roughly 40 minutes for that. So if you are disciplined and spend 40 minutes for each section, you will be able to finish your paper. So let's look at some changes also. Data response is more or less the same, except for now when you look at these questions, anytime you see 4 marks or above, remember that there will be an evaluation attached to it. An evaluation or conclusion attached to it, which means either you're discussing pros and cons, you're considering any weaknesses, any limitations, any other sort of analysis. So do need to make sure that you need to have an evaluation. Like for example, keyword here like consider means that you will be required to do some analysis and evaluation. Then comes this section sort of B, and I want to sort of point out some of the changes that have happened here as well. You look at this keyword consider that is coming in all the questions for the first part. Look at this consider here and consider here, which means now they are not only giving you a flat question of analysis, they are also requiring you to give your evaluation and also requiring you to give a conclusion. Like in this question, when they say explain the functions of price and resource allocation and consider the importance of these functions in relation to the potential. Now, consider the importance means that you're looking into now, not only looking at explaining the concept, but also analyzing and then evaluating the concept as well. And similarly, explain the possible economic reasons for inequality and consider whether inequality can benefit an economy. So here you write pros and cons of your income inequality. Similarly, explain the circular flow of income in a closed economy and consider the extent to which circular flow. This means that how will it change and what are the factors to consider when we're looking at from a closed economy to an open economy. So the key change now that has happened in your exams is that previously it was only the part B that used to be for 12 marks, which had evaluation and conclusion. Now part A also has to have conclusion evaluation. We need to consider that. We need to write meaningful evaluation and conclusion even in part A. So good luck with exam, guys, and I hope you do really well. Keep on watching videos which are being posted on all. We're doing past papers. We've done the March past paper. We've also done the past paper for specimen, which are really the latest papers that one should know.